being skinny wasn't just a physical problem, where it wasn't just like a surface level kind of issue that I had. It destroyed me mentally in probably one of the best, I mean, one of the worst ways possible. Right. And outside looking in, you may think, oh, you're just skinny, you're just a bit smaller than everybody else. And sure, people might poke fun at you and you might be a little bit insecure, but it is what it is. Like it's fine, like it's not that big of a deal. And, you know, well, that's true to some extent. On the inside out, it's a completely different story, right? Because when I was in that position, when I was pretty much ridiculously insecure and hated myself, it didn't feel like it just wasn't that big of a deal. It felt like I was constantly at war with myself, with the perception of me, with who I was, and I was losing, And growing up, I was always smallest guy in the room. I was short, I was skinny, and it's made me like pretty much a punching bag to all the jokes that people would say, or all the little comments here and there. And while it may seem like is what it is something normal, these really got to me because I was already thinking these things that these people were telling me. Like people were wrapping their fingers around my wrist telling me that I'm anorexic, I need to eat, whatever it is. Like, and then also being younger, it's kind of hard for you to deal with this because you're already trying to find yourself. You're already trying to figure out who you are and have like genuine confidence. But when you are constantly in this battle with yourself and you are uncomfortable in your own skin, it could set you up for failure in so many different ways, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. Like, sure, I was skinny, I was smaller than everybody, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. It didn't seem like it was that big of a problem, but I was so uncomfortable in my own skin. I was so uncomfortable with myself that I would literally hide in every way that I could, because that felt like it was the only thing that I could do. It felt like the only thing that I can do was hide away and hope that people wouldn't say anything about me, because I felt like I couldn't change myself and I didn't like who I was, and I truly hated myself, right? And this led to me being in a constant cycle of negative thinking, a constant cycle of degrading thoughts. Every time I looked in the mirror, I would be disappointed, I would be sad, I would be upset that I looked like this, that I would think like, why do I have to be this way? Or why do I have to be different than all these other people? Or why can't I just like have confidence like all these other guys have around me? And just constantly having these thoughts come over and over and over and not knowing what to do, and wishing things were different, and trying certain things here and there, and it's not working, and then you can't stick to it because you're so sick and tired of being in this position, but you're also so sick and tired of trying and trying and trying and seeing no change that you almost just give up on yourself, right? And in a way, this is what happened to me, right? I was tired of my situation. I was tired of hating myself. I was tired of not being okay in my own body, but I also didn't know how to change that. Right. And sure, I would try to eat more and do this and do that. And, these people around me, my family, my friends would tell me certain things like, oh, just eat a little bit more, bro. You'll be okay. And, I would do that, and still nothing changed. Right. So it went from, just physical hatred to just like an internal fight. And this internal fight caused me to spiral into an actual depression, and it just keeps compounding over and over and over again. So you're hearing all of these people making negative comments about you outside of your mind, and then you're also constantly degrading yourself inside of your mind. You're uncomfortable in your own skin, you're not confident, you're hiding away, and you just feel hopeless, you feel helpless, and you just wish that you weren't you, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. You already have other stresses in life. You already have things that you have to deal with outside of just your perception of you. But these thoughts and this perception that you develop ruins your life because it doesn't matter where you go. You're always scared that someone's looking at you. You're always scared that someone's going to make a comment. You're always scared that, people are judging you or making fun of you, right? No matter where it is, whether you're at a restaurant or at a beach, at a pool, at a family event, it doesn't matter, right? And this is exactly what happened to me. Like I would go to restaurants and waiters would make fun of me. Like I was 16 years old at the time, 15 years old, whatever it may have been. And I had freaking waiters handing me kids menus because I was so small they thought I was freaking 10 years old. And while it may be funny to some people on the outside, that's degrading as a male, like it's degrading to not be taken seriously or to be viewed as a joke everywhere that you go or everywhere that you go. Like people are making comments, people are just talking, no matter what, family events, restaurants, like I said, at school. Like I had my teachers making fun of me, man. I had girls not taking me seriously. And, this weighs down on your confidence so much to where you just feel hopeless, like I said. Right? Like girls won't take you seriously because you can't take yourself seriously. You're not confident in yourself. You're not secure in yourself. So you feel outcast in that area. No matter where you go, people are making fun of you, poking fun at you in some way, shape, or form, and then you hide it away because you don't want these people to know that these comments are bothering you, right? You're trying to make a change, you're trying to eat more, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, but nothing is changing, nothing's working. So then you're dealing with that frustration as well. And then before you know it, you're depressed and you hate yourself, like I said, right? And this was happening to me for years and years and years. And then eventually I got to a point to where I was so fed up that I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I couldn't deal with the comments anymore. I couldn't deal with my own thoughts anymore. I didn't want to deal with being depressed anymore. I didn't want to deal with any of this stuff, you know? And at that point is where I was just going to give up, right? I was just going to end my own life. And this is the iceberg of what could actually happen from dealing with this, from being skinny, from not being confident in yourself. Like it may look like just a surface level issue. It may just look like, it's not that big of a deal. But the further that you actually look into this issue, the further that you actually see that this is a genuine problem, you're going to see how this one little thing can literally ruin you, you know? And that's what happened in my life. And that's why I make these videos. That's why I talk about this kind of stuff because I lived it, and crazier thing is like once you do make this change, once you do actually transform in the way that you want to, then it's a whole nother battle because as crazy as it may sound, just building the physique isn't going to save you. Just having muscles or having a better physique or being more confident in yourself physically isn't just going to magically fix everything either. But it's definitely a huge step in the right direction, and it's going to give you the tools that you need to become the man that you want to be, to do the things that you need to do on a consistent enough basis to where you love yourself inside and out, right? But until you're able to make that change, nothing's going to change, dog. Like until you're able to truly love who you are, truly develop yourself in a way to where you're proud of what you see in the mirror, you're always going to hate yourself. You're always going to be depressed. You're always going to deal with these comments. You're always going to be hiding your body away because you're ashamed of it, right? As hard as it may admit as a man, like you're ashamed of yourself and you don't like who you are. You don't like who you're becoming. And when you look in the mirror, you're disappointed every single night, you know? And this is exactly how this one little issue that may seem like not that big of a deal on the surface can literally ruin you, you know? And if you guys are ready to make that change, if you're ready to actually take control of how you perceive yourself, how you feel about yourself, how confident you are, then click the link in my description, book a call with me, or click the link, my Instagram, shoot me a text and we'll talk about it. But love you guys. Jesus love you too. And I'll talk to you guys another time.